Wow.
Oh, well, in a second. Probably.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? I know today I'm a bit later than usual. Apologies for that. Husband and mom and everybody got me dragging me in this mall, y'all. But anyway, yes, happy Sunday. Happy December the 7th. I wanted to bring you here because this is the final episode of Embrace Your Crown for the month of December. Definitely really the year, y'all. So this is wrapping up 2025. And the name of this month's show or this month's concept is The End is Not the End. And what I want to encourage you guys about this is going to be an express version. Okay. Normally, I will definitely step you through 6 points and check ins and all that good stuff. But today, I am going to do it a bit faster than that. So I pray y'all don't mind. If you have questions, you can always DM me. I'll be happy to answer. But for many of you, I'm sure life is getting really intense, meaning you probably have obligations for yourself, for your children, for your goals, your career, maybe your business. And I want to give you some of the things that I want you to think about, considering it is December the 7th. And there's about 24 days roughly left in the year, right? Sounds about right. It's 31 days. What's really? No one can count today?
Sure.
Anywho, y'all can count on in the internet. Y'all, if I'm wrong, y'all forgive me because I ain't got no calendar in front of me. But I'm pretty sure that sounds about right. 31. I can count. All right. Anyway, so yes. So if you are honestly falling in one of those categories where you are building something, working on something that you would like to achieve, I just want to share with you real quick a couple of things I want you to think about. And it might be 6 points, it might be less, but I will say that definitely what I share I think will be helpful. So one of the things that I would love for you to consider is taking inventory on what you've accomplished so far. Sometimes the worst thing we can do is assume we achieved nothing because what we thought we were going to do, we didn't do. Um, I know in my life, there were times in my life where I was like, man, I would love to say that I've accomplished everything I put on my vision board. But I can tell you, when I make vision boards, 80 to 85% of the things on my board, I complete. And then honestly, 100% I complete within a few years. So if you've never done a vision board, if you haven't done one ever, I want to encourage you to start looking at what you want to change and start writing it down. One of the things the good Lord had put in a Bible is write the vision and make it plain so that others can pick it up and run with it. You cannot run a team when your team doesn't know your vision. You cannot manage when nobody knows where you're going or how to follow you or to trust that you can lead them to wherever you're saying you want to go. Whether that's marriage, whether that's in a business, whether that's as a manager. So some people will listen to you because they fear what could happen if they don't, but that doesn't mean they respect you. So basically, if they get the opportunity to go AWOL, they will go AWOL on you, which basically means these are going to be the people that will dump you and not care the results of them not listening to you at some of the most critical times. Meaning, you can have a debate between you and your spouse if they don't really respect you or feel confident in you. And some of the worst times, they'll expose your weaknesses in front of other people. And you might say, well, why did you do that? And the truth is, they don't really have a lot of confidence in what you're saying. And if someone else does, or they feel they do, they'll express your plan so that someone else can be able to put in their input to better help them understand what they really want to do. That's really dangerous because other people become the greatest influence in certain areas of your life where you may not want that to happen. So that could be their mom, that could be their dad, that could be other people, that could be their pastor. It could be other people that have a stronger influence over your household than you. And over time, it causes definitely arguments, definitely rifts in your communication and your romantic life. So, yeah, you might want to check on, do someone really respect you? Do they trust your leadership? And if not, what's the real reason why? Because sometimes people don't trust you because you've done things that were untrustworthy. If that's the case, it's not the end of the world if you decide to be together. However, that doesn't mean it won't be work to get things back on track for you to restore what was broken. Okay? Not everybody has these really nice relationship, you know, experiences where everything is great. For some of us, there's a lot of things that's not great. But if you're willing to be together and to build, don't be so quick to throw away someone who's willing to work with you. And I don't mean work with you as in tolerate you, two different things. But I mean someone that's like, look, we're in this together. We're just going to figure it out. That's what marriage and real commitment should look like. But oftentimes we may experience relationships that are more temporary than that. So you want to make sure if you're going to invest your energy, your time, your resources into something, it's not something that's really eating and distracting your time, but it's actually working as an investment of your time. So I would definitely say do inventory and then do a self assessment as well. I know it's really easy to blame somebody else for why something doesn't work. You can say, oh, the reason why they let me go was because they were intimidated, or was the real reason because you never showed up on time? Nobody can really rely on you. Every time somebody would give you a critique, you'll get in your feelings and storm off, and no one can educate you or teach you anything. So it's really your attitude that might be actually blocking your altitude. So if you're wondering, well, I don't know why every year I'm in the same spot, I keep having the same experience, there's a common denominator. So it's either your selection process is flawed, or there's something in your behavior that is breaking down consistently that puts you in this cyclical cycle of not being able to progress. And over time it gets overwhelming. It can make us angry, it can make us bitter sometimes, it can frustrate us. And so, if you may feel frustrated today, it isn't necessarily the worst thing. It's probably one of the best things you can know, especially if something's going wrong, because it's your signal that says, hey, something's broke. Do you want to fix it? Now, we can choose to ignore the things that are broken, but they won't automatically fix on their own. Okay. So if you're doing a personal assessment or you're looking and taking inventory and you're like, yeah, I see it, like I have in my first book. The first book is Open Seven Gates to Find and Overcome Heartbreak. It says to find it and overcome it because knowing your heart is broken is not enough to change it. And if you don't change it, then you're really walking as a wounded person. Okay. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to achieve nothing. It doesn't mean that life stops. But what it will mean is that some of the things you could do if you were whole, you won't be able to do because you're not. It's kind of like expecting a bird to fly when their wing is injured. The bird isn't flying. Can the bird travel? Yes, on foot. But how long will it take the bird to get to places? What are the limitations the bird will have because it can't do everything? And the question is that bird you? Are you the caged bird? The one that's really someone's pet, can't go anywhere. They take you out of the cage, play with you, and then put you back when they're done playing with you and they're done watching you do tricks for them. And this could be definitely across the board. You want to look at, are you in control of your life's direction, or are other people more in control of your life than you? And if you get that answer and you don't like it, what are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do to make that experience work to your purpose? It's not even to your best interest, it's your purpose. Sometimes, as we are pursuing our purpose, it does mean that we also have to work on ourselves, or again, take inventory of other people, but also get really focused on what we want. In the third book, Open Three Gates to Sharpen Your Focus, there are three gates. It's a real simple but very direct book, which is why I like it. The first thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you put it all on the table. I know for some of us, we're like, oh, I don't really want to pray for everything I want because I don't know if I'll get it. That's not the reason you should stifle your prayers. Because in that instance of saying something or thinking, believing something like that, you've already told the Father in your prayers that, Lord, I don't know what you can do, or I know what you can do, but I'm limiting what you can do because I don't believe you can do that. I don't believe you want to do that for me. I don't want to ask you for somebody that won't cheat on me because I'm so used to having someone that does. So don't go beyond what I'm used to. And that's dangerous. That's why in the second book, there are 5 gates to overcome your unbelief. A lot of people are miserable or struggling or lonely or broke or in poverty, not because they don't have opportunities. It's because they don't have the belief that they can do it. It's because they lack confidence to do the work to achieve it, or they won't invest the time and they have more excuses than they have reasons to win. And yes, we can talk ourselves out of anything. If you leave us to sit long enough, a lot of us will come up with more negatives about ourselves in 10 minutes than we can find positives in 3 years. Some of us are like, man, I'm a failure. Why do you feel you're a failure? Oh, because nothing goes right. Okay, so you're a failure and nothing goes right. You said that in 15 seconds. So your brain is already shutting down and not paying attention to none of the things you've done right. So, what are the things that you need to redirect your focus to? Because lately, you're not putting everything on the table. You're putting your fears on the table. You're putting what you have limited yourself to be, to become, to do all of this time. So, you assume it's not going to get any better. When you assume it's not going to get any better, you're setting your mind up, your heart up, your spirit up, your mind, will, and emotions is your soul up for defeat. So, for some of us, we'll never try. Some people will say, oh, you're so lazy. That person's lazy. No, that person could be unmotivated. They could be discouraged. There's a whole lot of words that really need to go in place of laziness, because when you don't want to put no effort in anything, it could be that you don't have any motivation for anything. And when we lack motivation or drive, it's kind of like, who's going to work all day and all night when they're not providing for nobody? What would be the purpose? If you don't want to be here on earth, what would be the excuse to go to work every day? Eventually, you're going to stop wanting to go. Eventually, you're not going to see a purpose. If you used to have a wife and children, or you had a husband and children, or you wanted to become a doctor or something, that was a big goal, right? One of the things in the second book is dream big. If you're not dreaming big and you're dreaming real small, like, Lord, I want to pay my rent, that's a basic dream. What happens when that dream is shattered? What happens when you're evicted? Now your whole world is flipped upside down for $800. You're going to throw away the rest of your life? Do you know how much money a person can make in a lifetime? Really, all of us are millionaires. It's just we don't know how to compound our money. So a lot of us blow our money every year. But if you add up the amount of money you have, or you that goes through your fingers, a lot of us are millionaires. But most of us waste it. And because we don't know how to value what we have, whether that's people, resources, money, assets, or liabilities, we blow everything. And then what we start to do is say, I'm a failure and I'm broke and I'm poor. No, you just poorly manage everything you have. So if you really want to change your life, you need to get disciplined. You need to get serious. You need to get serious about your life, about your health, about your spirituality, about how you see money and spend money, invest money, or save money. Because if you're not willing to change none of these things, your life is only going to stay the same or get worse. That's the truth. The truth is, we cannot consolidate time. Time doesn't wait on anybody, not the rich, the poor, the sick, the healthy, the lonely, the married, the happy, or the depressed person. Time is the same for all of us, and it's not partial. And so, if that's the case, the question becomes, what do you really want with your time? And if the answer is, I don't know, or I can't remember, or I never thought about it, I would encourage you today to think about it. In this month, this is one of the most challenging times for a lot of people. If you look at any calendar month in the year, this is the month where a lot of people quit their lives. And I mean, yes, some of people choose to commit suicide in this month, larger than any other month, statistically speaking. The question becomes why? What makes people want to give up when it's not the end? It's the end of the year. Yeah. It's the one of the biggest holidays. Everybody tends to love the fuzzy movies, the booed up shows, the romantic glitz and glam. But what makes people decide that they don't want to live life no more? And I wonder if the real question is they don't know how to move things forward. They don't have the confidence to believe they can. They don't believe life will get any better. They don't feel charged to make any plans, because they feel like none of their plans are going to succeed. I want you to do the second thing that's in the third book, sharpen your focus. Okay. The second thing is you got to remember what you did before. If what you did last week didn't work, if what you did a month ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago, 30 years ago, it's not working, what are you going to do that's different? And then what are you going to continue to develop that will continue to strengthen your transformation? Do you know, like, caterpillars can eat and eat and eat, and some of them will never transform into a butterfly. They'll die a caterpillar. Some of us are not committed to our transformation, and we're going to die in the same state in which we were born. We're going to die in the same state in which we were living and feeling. And for a lot of us, it's defeated. This is why they say the most profitable, the most richest place in the world is the graveyard, because a lot of us are eating, a lot of us are wasting, a lot of us are moving, but we're not building anything. One of the reasons I quit on a lot of relationships, meaning those relationships came to an end, was because they weren't building anything. It was wasting my time. And when you start valuing your time, this is how rich, wealthy people think. Money comes and it goes. They're not afraid to lose money because they know how to make it again. What they're most concerned about is their time, because you don't get that back. So if I sit here and it takes me 50 hours to accomplish something that if I could go make some money doing something I know I can do, of course it's legal, and then I take that money and I flip that money to go make me money, to go pay you to go do something that would have taken me 50 hours to do, and I did it in 10 hours, then guess what? I just became wealthier by 40 hours because I didn't commit the same time as I did before, because I learned something that would make me make more money faster. So a lot of broke people become richer faster the second and the third time than they did the first time, because they realize how to exchange their intelligence for time. It's not about how much you know. It's about what you know that you can use to be able to maximize what you can do in the shortest period of time. This is why people like AI. This is why people hire people in other countries and pay people different rates and all this other stuff, because it's not exchanging your time for money. As long as you're thinking time for money, you will never advance to whatever you may want to be. If you want to be independent, if you want to work for yourself, if you want to become wealthy. Wealthy people are not exchanging their time for money because you only have so much time. They build systems, those systems operate, and as those systems operate, they will eventually take care of them whether they work or not. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, these people are like just taking advantage of people. No, they learn something. And the question is, are you willing to learn what they know, or are you just going to judge them and complain and say, man, my life isn't going to change? You won't invest in yourself. Some of us won't put $100 into learning something. Some of us won't spend 50 hours to learn something well once, so you can repeat it or teach other people how to do it, or not go through the same challenges over and over again. And so if that is still going to be the choice you make going into 2026, there's not going to be a lot of growth for you because you're not growing. Sometimes the biggest reasons a business fails is because the business owner is blocking the people that they need in order to do the things that they don't know. Nobody knows everything. No matter how smart you are, no matter how many degrees you get, no matter how much, intelligence or how quick you can move, you're not going to be faster, than 8 computers for most of us. You're not going to be faster than someone who went to college longer than you or are talented, more passionate than you about an aspect of your business. So you have to determine what is the most valuable way of spending your time. And as you start figuring that out, it will allow you to sharpen your focus on what you should be focusing on instead of trying to do everything at one time, which will stretch you thin, burn you out, and make you want to quit and call yourself a failure. And you're only a failure because you're trying to do too much. So when you start reeling in and getting really focused on the things you should be doing, then you can really be a good judge of your own abilities and be honest to even what you need. So a lot of people think they need stuff they don't need, or they need stuff that they say they don't need, which is why they're failing. So inventory, take accountability or look at what you're doing. And if you are part of the problem, put it all on the table for what you want. Because sometimes we say we want something, backpedal, and no one else can follow us because we're not writing our visions down so that other people can help meet us where we need them. Another thing too is you want to remember what you did before, because when you don't remember what you did, you're going to keep repeating what you don't see. If you could see it, then likely you may not want to keep repeating it if you know it's failing. But when you write it down, it forces you to look at yourself like you look at everybody else. Isn't it funny how some of us can judge everybody else's situation, but we can't see our own selves? We can't see the fault in our own stars. And the reason that is because we're good at giving ourselves excuses. And excuses can be helpful at times. They can be crutches. Okay. You break your foot, break your leg, you're gonna need a crutch. You're gonna need, those things you put your knee in to wheel around. But what happens when your leg isn't broke no more? What happens when it's healed, but you're still acting like that injured bird? What happens when people free you and say, hey, get out of your cage, go live your life? And you're like, but I don't know how to do this. What happens when you were in jail or you were in prison and now you're not there no more? Maybe you were in a sucky relationship, but you're not there no more. So why are you still acting like the caged bird? People say, well, slavery is dead, but a lot of people have an enslaved mentality. And so you don't have to slave them anymore. They still think like a slave. So you don't have to put chains on them. All you have to do is treat them like the caged elephant. The elephant was chained for enough of their lives to where they limited every kind of concept that will allow them to be free. I love something my husband said. He said sometimes there are people that will offer you free stuff. And for some of us, we will take the free stuff because we don't value freedom. We really value comfort instead. And when you value comfort more than you value your freedom, you'll get lazy, you'll get unfocused, and you won't achieve anything, but you'll be just above bored. You'll be just above poverty. You'll be just above homelessness. But one bad check and you're homeless. One bad argument and you're divorced. One bad anything and you're one click away from disaster. Are you tired of that? Are you tired of that? I mean, when you're tired of it, that's going to make you get motivated. But when you're not tired of it, it's going to just feel like, oh, that's just life. Oh, that's just the way it is. Oh, this is just how we live. But this is the system. This is slavery. Slavery is giving you enough to survive. It gives you food, water, and any kind of shelter. But it's not going to be what you want. It may not include a car. It'll be transportation. It's the bus. But when you get tired of riding that bus, you're like, Lord, I don't want to ride the bus no more. And he'll say, okay, I understand. Here's what you got to do to get off the bus. Some people don't want to do what you got to do to get off the bus. So then they'll say, well, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. Or we'll what? We'll call Ubers instead. How much money are you blowing on Ubers and Lyfts because you don't want to get disciplined to buy a car? You don't want to fix your credit and make it within reason. You don't want to buy what's in your means because you don't want to be embarrassed. So it makes more sense to pay for Uber. So you don't get embarrassed because you can't afford much but a hoopty. But if you had a hoopty for about 6 months to a year, you can afford to buy what you want. But when you value comfort more than you value progress, then you'll be the reason that your family don't have anything you built because you built nothing. Legacies are not passed down because you passed down air. Legacies are passed down because you built something that you know is valuable and you give it to someone else to extend past your lifetime. There was things that my mom never gave me, but there are many things that I built for my children and that my husband and I are building for our grandchildren and all kinds of stuff that we can pass down when we leave because we left something for them. I know it sucks if you're the person like I was and many of us have been, where nobody gave us nothing but cliches and, you're going to do great, but we don't even know what greatness is because we ain't never seen it. Oh, you're going to have a good relationship. You're going to get married one day, but you ain't married. You ain't did it right. You don't have no example for me. How am I supposed to figure this out? Those are really good questions. And I know that's why a lot of us, they feel like we deserve to fail because I don't have an example. But let me tell you, Harriet Tubman didn't have an example of freedom, but it didn't stop her from going to get it. Marcus Garvey didn't know nothing about America, but it didn't stop him from getting on a plane or a ship or a boat or however the crap he got to New York. And he had 1 million men marching down the streets of New York. He bought a ship to bring people to Liberia. Like, this man was doing stuff. And here we are in this 2025, and we complaining why we can't get out of the hood. I know somebody who went on a railroad that had no train. I know somebody who went through snow, rain, the water, had a held a gun, and was ran by dogs. And we saw people get beat in the streets for the LA riots. We saw people lose their homes in Tulsa. Like, we know this stuff, but are we paying attention to any of this stuff? Or are we just using it as, that's them people? But what about you? What are you doing when you see stuff like this? What are you doing to preserve your legacy? What are you doing to build something so that you're not just somebody that dies? How many of you even know who your great aunt was? What did she do? How did she get anything? What did your great grandfather do? Did he do something you wish you knew how he did? Some of y'all have successful musicians in your family and you don't even know how they made it. All you know is he used to be rich or he used to be famous. Everybody used to call him great. Okay, used to. All right, I understand. But what did he teach you? Did he teach you how to do it? No, no, they didn't really teach me that. Well, then how are you going to repeat something nobody took the time to teach you? I wrote a book called The Plant and the Tree. And it's a children's version of explaining why you take your time with your children or your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews. If you don't take the time to teach them nothing, they won't know crap about you. And when you die, all they'll do is say, man, they was cool. Well, you know, they was cool. I like my uncle. I like my auntie. They gave me ice cream. What the crap ice cream gonna do for you when you're 25 years old and you wish you knew how to buy a house? But your auntie was the only one in the house that bought a house. But she never told none of y'all how to fix your credit. She never told any of y'all how to use credit cards. Nobody ever told you how to do a bank. Most of us don't even know what a checkbook is because we're all digital now. So none of us can balance jack. But we got Cash App cards. We got all of this stuff. We blow through money faster than anybody. But see, if you don't start checking how you talk to your kids, or if you talk to them about anything, and you want TikTok to raise them, TikTok is going to teach them a whole bunch of stuff. And it's not going to all align properly. Even some of us that are fumbling in the dark trying to figure out what a trust is and all this other stuff, if you don't teach them the value of paying somebody to figure this out and teach them, and then teach them the value of reading, they can hire somebody that will scam them, and they don't know how to get their money back. I've seen people buy cars off Craigslist and lose $3, 4, $5,000, and they didn't know how to go get their money back. Because this is the stuff that if you have to keep losing to learn, and nobody who lost taught you how to learn how not to repeat what they did, they'll go broke. My daughter bought something off Amazon, or somebody used her Cash App card a month ago or something. They bought something for $3. And instead of her going to the Amazon website to complain to Amazon and call it fraud and then call the bank, there was no bank. So she Googled Amazon's customer service number. Some random number came up on the internet. She called that number instead of Amazon, and then showed these people stuff that honestly was completely backwards. But because she didn't know what financials, how stuff works to do a claim, I said, Kata, none of this stuff is legit. This is not a real number. I just Googled it. I reversed. So see, mamas know. People that learn some things about scams know. Don't just call random numbers. Go to the real website, call the number on their website, go through their claims process. And if it's not through them, then who are you talking to? But see, if I would have never told her never do this again, she would do it again. And she would have believed that her information was safe because she had no reason to think it wasn't. But I said, girl, you need to cancel all of your cards, delete anything on your Cash App. I'm deleting everything on my Cash App. Tell your daddy. Because guess what? If they can hack yours, they can hack people that sprint or splinter from you. And that's the thing. When you don't know nothing and you don't teach your children nothing, guess what happens? Ignorance splinters all throughout your children. It goes all, instead of you teaching them something that builds a legacy, you teach them things that tears it down instead. It says a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down. It's not just a woman that don't know how to talk to people. It's the woman that did not know how to teach her children, or the husband that did not lead his family, or it's the business owner that did not write a business plan. So now everybody is winging it. Whole company winging it. Going to meetings, no agenda. Nobody's respecting you because they're like, these people aren't organized. We ain't working with them. They can say anything they want to, and it can make good sense, cost enough, all of that. But guess what? You came in there with no website, no legitimate means. They looked up your business. You're not incorporated. You don't have none of your paperwork together. Nobody's going to take you serious. They're going to kick you out their office and laugh. And most of them will block you and never invite you back. So if you want something, put it all on the table. You need to be organized. You have to know what you want. You have to take inventory and be honest with yourself. And if you're the problem, fix the problem. Knowing you have a problem is not the bad part. That's the best part because you know what's wrong. And if it's broke, fix it. Fix it. Now if you ain't gonna fix it, close your business because everybody gonna close it for you. You're gonna go broke and you're gonna get real sad because you're gonna be like, I don't understand how I failed. You can, if you go to consultants, their job is to tell you how you can win, not why you failed. We go to people when we're about to die, so they're telling you why you're dying. But if you go to someone and say, look, tell me how I can live, why don't we do it that way? Why do we wait till we're on our deathbed and be like, man, what's going on? Well, you're dying. Well, that sucks. Yeah, if you would have came, 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, I could have told you how to change your life. And the sad part is some of us are going places in the right time, but we refuse to change our lives. And so guess what? You die. Your business dies. Your marriage dies. You might have said, well, I asked her what was wrong. She told you. But you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to spend time with her. You didn't want to you didn't want to spend time with your children. You said, "Oh, I don't got time for y'all. I got to go make money." You thought making money was more important than what? Building your legacy. Making money is not all that there is to building your legacy. Your children will have a problem scanning your credit card and don't know nothing about you. Look at it. There's a lot of rich kids scanning cards. Ask them something about their daddy. Well, I don't know. I don't know that man like that. Well, what about your mom? I don't know. She drinks all day. What the crap? How you rich? I mean, we broke. We know how to talk to our parents though. So see, sometimes you don't know what your value is because you think money is what makes you valuable. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's a lot of rich kids that have no confidence. And that's why their parents won't give them their business either. Because they're like, yo, this person, they'll be a trust fund kid, but I'm not giving them none of my stuff so they can blow it. So they give their company to somebody who knows what they're doing, and 9 out of 10, that person did not come up with a spoon in their mouth. They came up hustling. They came up trying to figure some stuff out. Those are called resourceful people. When you have to learn how to become innovative, oh, you gonna figure some stuff out because you got a no-lose personality. These are the people like. But here you are trying to come up with every excuse on why you should fail, and you gonna fail. And these are the people that become employees. And they have an excuse why they can't come to work on time. They have an excuse for everything. And then people just shake their head at you and they will never promote you. You'll just be a person that sucks up air in the room because they got to have somebody to open the door. So all you got to do is open the door and smile at people. Don't you want something more than that? Now, I'm not saying if you start there that there's a problem. Because if you know where you're going, get into the building. Be a manager. Be a person that sweeps the floor. Do whatever you got to do to get in the building. When King David had to get into the castle, he came in playing an instrument and ended up being the king. Okay? So it's nothing wrong with humble beginnings. But know where you're going. Know how to readjust your focus, which is the third gate in that book. You got to readjust your focus. Remember what you did before and put it all on the table, and don't be afraid to do the work, which is in book 2, to get to what you really want to achieve. If you want to achieve something, it's going to cost you something. Becoming a believer in Christ costs your life because you got to reroute how you think, how you move, how you treat people, because you're supposed to be the image of Christ. You're not supposed to be just the person you used to be. You're supposed to be a better version because you encountered God. How are you supposed to say you encountered God and nothing about you was better, different, nothing? So you mean to tell me if I encountered God, I'm going to be the same person I was 50 years ago, 30 years ago? Nothing changes? So then what's the purpose of God? What does he do? Make us the same, make us feel comfortable about being the same person we was because now we got religion? No, that's why religion is dead. That's why religion don't work. So if you really want to change your life, if you really want to know who God is, you got to get to know him for real. Not this cute, go to church on Sunday and you yourself all 7 days. It doesn't work. This is why you read your Bible. It's not so you can brag about reading. Some people who read their Bible don't do none of it. What's the difference? But the key is to read, to hear, to listen, to watch, to pray, and to implement what you're learning. Some of us implement nothing because we don't remember anything. You remember the parable in Matthew where it says that the seeds are put into different soils. Some of the soil is rocky, some of it is good ground, some of it the sun burns it up, some of it the birds take it away. What do you think that parable means? That parable is all these nuggets you're getting. This live is a nugget for you. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to just forget about it? That means a bird took it away. Are you going to think about it for a little bit, but man, I'm not going to buy the book, or I'm not going to come back and rewatch it? I said I will, but I know I'm not. Guess what that is? Putting it on a rocky ground, because it ain't going into the earth. And then the other one is when the like the snares or the branches, the weeds will kill it. For some of us, we put it in the ground, but we won't water it. We won't prune nothing around it to make sure it won't get choked out before it gets to grow. For some of us, we got more weeds in our yards, and we have faith to make anything that can actually nourish us back. So we'll invest $50 over here, but when we got to spend 10 hours to read the book, we won't do that. So guess what that is? That's choking out. That's choking you out. And that's why you don't see the growth. I wrote the Embrace Your Crown series because I want to see people get places. I want to see you finish your book, not just talk about it. Talking about dreams is great. But guess what? A dream is something that you move to accomplish. Dreams are not just given to you so you can have wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is not dreaming. I know it sounds like it is, but it's not. Wishful thinking is, I wish this would happen. And guess what you do? You wait for it to happen. Dreams are Martin Luther King, I have a dream. And what was Martin doing? He was speaking, he was traveling, he was working, he was building, he was networking, he was coordinating people, he was talking to people, managing folks. He was frustrated sometimes, but he was building. So if you got a dream, build it. And if not, it's a wish. Oh, I saw a vision, but I wish it happened. And that's all it ever is. What I love about what was said by Joseph. Joseph said in the Old Testament, he says that the Father gives dreams, and he also gives the understanding or the interpretation of dreams. The one that interprets your dreams, the one that is speaking to you, the one that has plans for you, the one that birthed you with a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose. You're not a mistake. Okay. I know people might say, well, it was an accident. I got pregnant. That was their accident. It's not God's accident. He don't make accidents. The world didn't happen. The Big Bang Theory will have you believe the earth came into being by accident. That's some foolery. And you know it's dumb because all this stuff worked too well together. If we come and we make some crap up, we're going to have errors. We're going to have to go back, tweak it. Because guess what? We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're not infallible. There ain't a priest calls himself infallible. He's not. He's going to fail at something just like the rest of us. And so that's how you know something greater than us built everything around us that is perfect, that knows its place, that knows order. Isn't it funny when you out of order, you know you out of order? Nobody got to tell you, you feel it. But what you try to do is ignore it or what? Give an excuse for it. The more excuses you give yourself to not get in order with whatever you're called to do, the longer you delay your purpose. Excuses are delays, and they're not worth it. A lot of people get delayed to the grave. And I don't mean death is delayed. I mean what they could have achieved before they died is delayed. And some of it is completely delayed. It'll never happen. Because you never told your children your dream. So they can't even continue it because they don't know what you wanted to do. In fact, you started and stopped so many things, they don't know what to pick up because you weren't serious about nothing. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. A woman is too. If you can't stay focused for 6 months, can't date a person for past 3 months before you ready to go on and move on and try it again, what you gonna build? What are you gonna build? You can't be with nobody. Can't be at a job longer than 6 months. Can't be with a woman or a man for longer than 6 months. You can't be with yourself for longer than 6 months before you go crazy and you gotta go date or you gotta go find or you gotta go hook up or you gotta do something. That's unstable. That's instability. And this is why all your dreams are unstable. It starts with you. That's why I say take inventory, because all of these things show up in your business. They show up in your career. They show up in your dreams. They show up in your visions. They show up in your wishful thinking. Today, I wish I am an avatar. Tomorrow, 6 months from now, I wish I could have been a doctor. Some of these wishes are just out there. Some of this stuff is a waste of time. I know there's a verse in Proverbs that talks about vain imagination. Vain imagination is stuff we dream about that is in vain because we ain't gonna do nothing about it. And it's just stuff that we spend our time on, wasting our time, because if we could have been focused on that time, we could have finished something. There's something I read, as a statistic that says if you do something for 10 minutes each day for 3 to 5 years, you can master anything. You know the problem? Most of us ain't focused longer than 6 months. So we master nothing. Nothing. We won't go to college for 4 years because we'll say, oh, the degree gonna be trash. First of all, what did you get a degree in? Some of us, we flip degrees like our major so many times. And it's okay if you didn't know in the beginning, but at some point you're gonna have to figure it out. And it doesn't mean you gotta do it forever, but you gotta have a plan on why you're doing it now so you know where it's gonna connect you to. We don't know the future, but you better know what you want your future to look like. And that way you can take other people with you. You can know what's a good deal and what's a bad deal, because that ain't where you want to go at all. Some people are taking roads that take them all the way left, and they knew they had to go right to get to where they was going, but they thought if they went left, it's a shortcut. Some things ain't shortcuts. They're just delays. They're just distractions. Inside of sharpen your focus, there is something that I talked about, which is decoys. Decoys are things that look good, sound good, feel good, but they're not really the real thing. Fake jewelry looks good, but it ain't real. It'll turn your skin green. There are some people that look good on paper, but when you hang out with them, you're like, dang, I didn't think it was going to be like this. Some of us got catfished. Some of us got all this stuff going on. You good, honey? So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, that's happening in our lives, in our world. And I just want to encourage you, take inventory. Look at it all. Get focused on what you want. Put it all on the table. Write it all down. And then don't get alarmed if it don't happen in a month, 6 months, even a year. But I bet you if you keep looking at it and you keep working towards it, you're going to build something. When I worked my vision board, now I think it might have been 3 years ago, when I wrote that vision board, I picked the house I wanted to live in. I said how much money I wanted to make. I said I wanted to be married. I said I wanted to spend more time praying. I said I wanted to spend more time with my children. I said that I wanted to have a book club. I said that I wanted to have Embrace Your Crown. I said a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. Do you know that 100%, I would say 98% of that stuff on that board, I've done it all. I've done it all already. So now my vision, my dream has to get bigger, because I thought what I put on that board was already big. I thought marriage for me would happen in 10 more years. It happened this year. So it's things like this. But if I would have never wrote it on that board, I wouldn't have been looking for it or wanting for it or none of that stuff. And maybe when he asked me, I would have been like, nah, I don't think this ain't what I was looking for. It's not what I want. And who's to say I would have been ready? Who's to say I would have even been at the right location? Because maybe I would have been working a job because I gave up on my business. And if I gave up on my business, I would have never found him. Not at the Black Expo at that. I was working an author's booth. So sometimes just being where you're supposed to be aligns you for what the Father has for you. Not everything he has for you, you have to go beat your head against the bricks for. Some things just be in position for it. Do the work. Learn, grow, elevate. You're not perfect. Nobody is. I got mistakes. You got mistakes. We got stuff we wish we didn't do, but we did. It's over. It's past. We can't fix the past, though. The question is, what can you rework in your life to fix your future? To fix 2026. Don't worry about 50 years from now. Worry about the rest of this year. Worry about today. Start with today. The Bible says, worry about today because tomorrow will take care of itself. Some of you need to focus on today. Okay. And then once you say, you know what, this is what I'm doing today, write it down. And after you write it down, then look at it again tomorrow and say, am I on target? And then after you achieve the goal, make a new one. Don't end your goals because you achieve one of them. Get them all. Do it all. I said I wanted a fashion line. I said I wanted a cosmetic line. I said I wanted to write books. I said I wanted to sing. I said I wanted to act. I said I want to do a lot of stuff. I was a director, a whole lot of stuff. I've done all that already. There are better ways, higher, places I could get to in a lot of these areas. But if I died tomorrow, I can say, Lord, I did everything I came to earth to do. I got married. I had children. I had great times. I had some bad times. I learned I'm not as crazy or as this way as I used to be. I can say I've grown. You see? So when you have stuff that you can look back, this is why I tell you, look back. When you look back, everything ain't bad. It's not. It's just sometimes what we did wrong, we remember the most because we see how much it impacts our lives. And so we're like, man, I wish I would have never did that because my life could have been totally different. But the truth is, what choice can you make today where your tomorrow can be totally different? Can't fix yesterday, but you can fix the future. You can change it. It can change. The question is, do you believe it? Second book, Embrace Your Crown. Open 5 gates to overcome your unbelief. One of the biggest falsehoods that we believe is it is the way that it is. No, no. It is the way that you accept it to be. If I accept this, then you are making it what it is. But if I don't accept this, then I'm going to work to make it what I want it to be. And I want to encourage you, consider what you want, consider what you believe you thought you deserve, and then compare it to what the Father said about you. Because some of us went through hell, being honest, we went through craziness. So for us to think a little bit above is a triumph for us. And I celebrate you too. But for the rest of us, we got to dig deeper than that because there is more still to be achieved and to be received. And so I want to encourage you today. If you have not been encouraged, you're not a failure. Have you failed? Probably, maybe. I would say yes, we all have. But can you change it if you want to? If you want to. And if you don't know how to, what are you willing to do to learn how to do what you didn't do right the first time? When you fail at something, it's not give up. When you fail at something, it's okay, can I do this better? What do I need to do better? How can I succeed? What do I need to change? And this is how successful people stay successful. Okay? So if you want to plug, that's how you get to plug. If you want to understand how my journey grew and all that good stuff, you can, of course, get the Embrace Your Crown series. Use the code on the screen. But another thing I will encourage you to do as well is I would surely encourage you to what I would surely encourage you to do is look at a book I wrote called Look for the Drip and Expect the Outpour. And it is just a real rundown on how I achieved a lot of stuff that I've achieved. And the crazy part is I wrote it in 2024. And between 2024 and 2025, a whole lot of my life has changed. And by next year, it's going to change again. So I'll have an update, but it'll be a whole nother book. But needless to say, all of your life doesn't have to go in one book. You're dynamic. So if you want to write more than one book, write more than one book. Don't feel like I can't write one book because my life is still going. It should. The Bible is not all there is to God. It's still open. He's still writing. Your story is still being written. The book of life ain't closed yet. So don't treat life like it is. Don't treat your life like it's over. Close the book. It's over. No, it's not. You're still here. So look at what you want, look at what you can change, look at all of that, and see how things will go better for you. Okay. Thank you for. I'm just reading someone's comment. Thank you for giving me medicine. Doesn't always taste good, but I needed to hear it. I want to share that with y'all real quick. Let me make sure. Let me see if it's posting. Hold on one second. Let me get rid of this QR code real quick. This is a comment on YouTube. Let me see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so here are some of them. I can't see all of your comments. I'm gonna see if I can go through them now. Someone asked, "Can Asian people get afros?" Baby, I don't know. I guess some people can, some people can't. It's the way it is. This is my afro though. I heard somebody else's. Your hair is so cool. Thank you so much. And you are gorgeous. Thank you so much. All right, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. Sometimes it's the way it is, babe. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. I think I got everybody's stuff. If you have comments for me, thoughts, or things you may want to share, feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me on any of these platforms. I read my comments. I ain't going to lie to y'all eventually. Sometimes it takes a minute. I try to read them in the live so I can see them as they go. One thing I want to check, I know sometimes people post on multiple platforms, so I don't want to miss anybody, but I think I caught them all. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to let y'all go. I thank y'all for spending this hour with me to wrap up 2025 for Embrace Your Crown First Sundays. I will be back, Lord's willing, the first Sunday in January of 2026. If this has blessed you, I want to encourage you definitely to check out the books on the embraceyourcrown.com website. When you do, you can get all three books, pick the one you need. Also, if you want to write or publish your book, I would like to give definitely a shout out to our sponsor, which is going to be Write Anything Easily. You can definitely take advantage of this offer. It's $85. It will give you a $156 consultation, and it'll also give you an $85 colorful guide to show you everything you need to know how to do to write and publish your story. And then lastly, if you need help to start your business right and to get organized, this will give you a $156 consultation. It will also help you to get the guide that will show you all the steps you will want to go through for launching your business right. Okay, so definitely support our sponsors. I thank you in advance. I thank you for watching wherever you are. And if I can be of further help, feel free to reach out to me on any of my platforms. I am author K Lee. If you want to connect, authorklee.com, author K Lee on all social platforms. So that is author KLEE. All right, on all platforms. All right, let me just make sure I put this up for you. So there is my website. You can scan the QR or tap the link in the comments. I'll put a comment in here real quick so you can see this, but it is authorklee.com is my website. So I'll just post that. My bad. Nope. Okay, I hit the wrong button, y'all. I thought I was about to end this thing early. So it's authorkaylee.com. Okay, so I'll share this with you. That way you can see my website in case you're curious. And yeah, I thank you. I thank you for those that have scanned the QRs and those that have watched a lot or little of this program. I pray that it blesses you. I pray that the Father will help each and every single one of you enjoy the rest of this year, to go into this year full of power, full of confidence, building your boldness, building your direction, getting focused so you don't get distracted by the decoys or the people or the delays. May the Father accelerate you and redeem your time. May you be aware of how great and fantastic and awesome your dreams are, and know that the Father is bigger than your concerns, distractions, fears, or anything like that. May you be encouraged today. Sincerely, I thank you for watching Embrace Your Crown. I am Dr. Krystal Lee, also author K Lee on all platforms. If you would like to reach out to me, get connected, authorklee.com or author KLEE on all social platforms. Until next year, next month, January, the first Sunday, I will be back. Until then, bye bye for now. Be blessed.